Now I've got a pretty cool little pattern for you today. It's been a little while since we've tied a streamer on the channel, so I was flipping through Federation of Fly Fishers Pattern Encyclopedia and I found a pretty cool one material streamer. The pattern is called Ronn's Two Feather Matuka, created by Ronn Lucas of Oregon. Now it does have two feathers, but they're the same feather, so I'm calling it a one material fly. But the one material, it's just saddle hackle, which is cheap, we've all got some, and it comes in pretty much any color you want. Now I have no idea what this is meant to imitate, probably just a bait fish or tied in darker colors, maybe a leech pattern. The recipe does not say to weight it, but I think if you'd want to fish this as a leech, yeah, I'd probably put a little bit of weight on it so it'd get a little bit deeper. Now it's a fun tie, it is probably the ugliest pattern I've tied all year, but I kind of like these little simple flies, and I can't wait to get out there in the water and give it a try. So there it is in the vise, and I kind of have to laugh because this is about the ugliest thing I've tied all year. It is Ronn's Two Feather Matuka by Ronn Lucas. Now I'm tying this on a size 6. It's 3 extra long barbless streamer hook. And I've stepped my thread up to 140 denier in black. We'll just catch a little bit in up front before we catch our wire in. And it calls for a gold wire. Any size you want, I'm sure, is fine. I think this is a brassy. I'm going to catch it in up front and then just bring it back to the start of the bend. And I will finish it off with it just a little bit to the side back here. Now here's the only thing that takes any time, just picking the right hackle feathers, saddle hackle. I'm going to use furnace. And pick a feather that's going to give you the length of the tail you want, which is actually pretty long, about twice, maybe even longer, the length of the hook shank. And then right in front of the tail, we're going to have all this fluff, and that's going to be our body that we catch off with this wire, kind of Matuka style. So I'm going to create a little bit of an opening right here. Be careful not to strip any of these fibers off because I want to keep them on. So just a couple, 2 or 3 wraps right here. And so there's our tail. It's a little bit askew, but you know this is a shaggy fly, I don't really care. Go ahead and take your thread up here to where we want to catch it off and leave it hanging, because in a minute you're not going to be able to see anything but that thread hanging down. So I'm just going to try to pull these a little bit off to the side right here, either side. So we got our tail coming off right there, can you see that? It's, yeah, a little bit canted, but I'm not going to worry about it. And now we just take this wire and wrap it up here Matuka style. And we're going to have to zigzag it. We don't want to trap too many of these fibers. We're going to trap plenty of them, but if you zigzag it, we'll be able to brush some of them out. So just take your time right here and take it all the way up there to where you see that thread hanging. So you see, with all that mess of a body fluff right there, can't really tell where my eye is, so that's kind of why I've put my thread right there. Now one last wrap, I'm going to lift these up, and we can just, maybe one more wrap before we catch off this wire here. And it's a brassy, so it's going to take a few wraps to really get this wire bound in. Now we can snip these stems right here. And it's pretty messy, but we're going to clean it up in just a second. Okay, or not clean it up, but maybe just make it a little more shaggy even. Go ahead and get rid of this wire, either snip it or helicopter it. And, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put a big streamer head. Just watch the sharp nub where you broke that wire off. Put some loose wraps on it at first, and then bury it, and then you can go ahead with your big head. Now we'll do a quick whip finish here. Now before I go ahead and put any head cement on it, I'm just going to try and brush these out because I did trap a few of them in here. And this one might even be shaggier than the one I had in the vise at the beginning. But is it a fishable fly? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, the cool thing about this, if you mess it up, just say you meant to do that. You meant to make it that shaggy looking. So yeah, not a pretty fly, but I'm putting a drop of head cement on it, and it's going in my streamer box. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.